Welcome back, YouTube modelers, to my pulpwood truck model. I have been leaving this on the shelf for about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months. I have been really stuck with how to deal with the loader. And with the coronavirus lockdown, I said to myself, I'm going to get to work on this and figure it out. So the last 2 days, I've just been working on how to model the loader situation. So here we are. I still haven't assembled it, and I thought I'd show you what the loader looks like unpainted, so you can see the pieces and parts that went into it. It's there we go. Now, I think I've showed before the loader that I bought on eBay about a year ago, maybe more than a year ago now, and it was a grossly out of scale. It was not 1 to 24th scale. It was probably 1 to 30th or 1 to 32nd scale. And so what I was having trouble with is, first of all, the height. It wasn't high enough, so I extended this, and I think I've showed this before, but bear with me. The other thing that was way off was the seat. And so I had to figure out, okay, how does the operator get up to the seat to control the loader? So the ladders are G-scale ladders that I bought on eBay. It was an extension ladder that I separated the two sections and cut to appropriate height. This is all done by eye. I just gauged it by eye. I estimated, okay, what would be an appropriate height for somebody to sit at, figuring that a 1/2 inch in 1 to 24th scale is 1 foot. I then, okay, how many feet up would it be, etc., etc., etc. So, let's see if I can show this. Yesterday and the day before, I've been working on, okay, the operator climbs up to a platform and then has to get into another platform to sit on the chair, and the upper platform would spin, the lower platform stays in place. So there we go. This chair came from a model car kit. I don't remember which one now I took that from, but it's a bucket seat that I made the sides a little bit lower. I carved it down a bit. I carved the top down. Normally these would have a fold over seat. The top would fold down. The back, I should say, would fold down. And that I didn't really want to deal with trying to model it. You can see this platform's at a bit of an angle. That's because of this vertical part of the mast is, I hope that's in focus. The vertical part of the mast is at an angle. And for the controls, for the walkways here, the part you walk on, stand on, these are roof walks from an HO scale boxcar. Just parts and pieces I had laying around in my extras pile. The controls up here for the hydraulics are handrail stanchions from a model railroad, HO scale model railroad locomotive. I think the rest of the loader is, it pretty good to scale. It reaches to the back of the load of the truck, and I think that'll be fine. So here it is. It's all ready to be painted. I've got the primer all ready. The one thing I'm not that pleased about is how these outriggers came out. Again, the loader was way undersized, and the outriggers, when I laid them down, they didn't even touch the ground for the truck. So I had to do something to extend them. They didn't go out far enough. They didn't go down far enough. So I made a U-channel out of styrene and cut the outriggers so that they still had the feet at the bottom. And unfortunately, my cutting wasn't that square. And I'm hoping that a little paint will cover that up and it won't look quite so bad. That's what I'm hoping for anyways. So there it is, all ready to be painted. Next stop, the paint room. And I'll let you see this in an hour or 2 or 3. all ready to be installed, hopefully. I'm thinking at this time I'll probably just glue it into place. Maybe I'll just leave it. It fits really snug onto the chassis. See if I can show. I don't know, you could probably lift this model up. Yeah, you could lift the model up, it fits that snugly. So I may just leave it in place like that, and that way I guess it could be taken apart for shipping or whatever, packing. And this right here, this cable is, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make the cables that were used to unload the logs. And I'm trying to remember how the loggers did it. I remember there was chains involved. I think they had cable that would lay in like this, and then they had, I don't know, a few feet of chain at the top that would lay over these bars. And when they get the load done, so when it was empty, it would be like this. When the load was on, they'd throw the chain over the top and either just hook it across or put a load binder on it. I don't remember which. I don't think I ever saw from the top. That way, when they get to the log yard or the pulp mill, they would just put a cable or chain from the big overhead crane and lift the whole thing up. That's what I'm thinking of doing. Oh, this was going to be for 8-foot pulpwood, wasn't it? I don't know how I'm going to do that. But I remember they used cable, and I remember the sound of the chains as they went down the logging roads, clanging on the, banging on the pipes and clanging as they went along. So, into the spray booth we go. Well, here we are back again with the Mack pulpwood truck, and at this point I have the cab attached. I did a little bit of weathering on the roof and the back of it before I glued it in place, and the hood opens and closes. It doesn't work all that well, but it does work. And there's the engine. Did a little bit of weathering to the engine, some grime and some junk and stuff like that. I likewise added some mud and rust to the undercarriage, the wheels and the chassis and such. There we go. And we're down to the last little bit. What I haven't shown you, let's see if I can get the cab back on. Come on. There we go. The hood. Get in. It doesn't like that last 1/8 of an inch or so. Come on. Yeah, like I say, it doesn't like to snap down in there. Stay there. Okay. I haven't added the Mack to the nose yet till I get everything else ready. He's going to stay off for now. As for the rack body, there's how that's coming up. I spent a lot of time thinking about what I was going to do with this. I'm not all that good at envisioning colors for the wood body like that, and as you can see, it's got 2 tones to it. I was trying to get down in the bottom here, what I really wanted to get was something that looked like it had been creosoted. But I kind of like this upper 2 parts here. So what I did, I'll explain it to you, as I used some Poly S mud. This is an ancient bottle. You can see the price tag's all faded off. But it's kind of a, I don't know, yellowy brown color, tan maybe. And then I added some of that burnt sienna from Michael's, pardon my hand, and a little bit of that coffee bean color from, again, Michael's. I watered those down and brushed them on, and that's what gives this that reddish brown hue. So I kind of mixed them together, the sienna and the coffee bean color. And then over the top of that, I put this Tester's enamel stain, and this color is called brown stain. Okay, but that's what I did with this section here. These two are just the Floquil Polyess mud color with, I think, two coats of that Tester's stain, that stuff there. So anyways, let me know what you think. I like both of them. I like both of them. I don't think this doesn't really give me the effect of I don't know, creosoted lumber. Yeah, it does and it doesn't. These up here kind of look like dirty aged, the two upper panels, this one and this one, look like dirty aged wood. I kind of like that. So there's the bed of the truck. It's pretty much ready to go. I want to do some more. I'm going to have to do some weathering of the vertical pieces here. All the woods, not the wood, the steel and metal is going to need to have some weathering done to it. Some rust and bare spots of steel color. I need to back this out a little bit. Come on. Oh, okay. It doesn't want to back up. Okay. So that's it for the truck. Now, for the loader, I have to bring the camera up. There we go. You can probably see it over to the left. There is the loader. And oh, I still haven't added the hydraulic hoses. It's all drilled. All the various cylinders and pistons are drilled out for the hydraulic hoses to be installed. And this should slide down in there. Yeah, it says on the instructions sheet that I wrote that this should slide right down in there. Come on. There we go. It started. Come on. There. That's not all the way down in, but that gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. And I'm really liking how this came out. And that's where I'm at right now. I think I need to add the hydraulic hoses, and then I think the loader can be mounted. And I think at that point I probably will, I don't know, maybe I should leave the, again, all of this is, I'm just going by the seat of my pants here. Probably I should weather the bed of the truck first, because it's not going to be easy to do it when it's got all that weight. It's much easier to handle when it's separate pieces. So, separate this and weather up the steel on here, the metal, including the cross pieces, supports on the bed. On to the paint shop again. Well, guess what? It's done. It's done, it's done, it's done. Yes. There's the Mack DM600 pulpwood truck. I have not glued the loader in place. I don't think that's an issue. I'm not going to lift it up by the loader. If you do, it'll come right out. But there it is. It doesn't have a load in it right now. And you notice it does have cables and chains for the load. And it does have a Mack, a Bulldog on the nose. Bring the camera down a little bit. There we go. I did get the Bulldog to sit on the nose. I hope that's glued on well. Here's the right side of the truck. You know, one thing I didn't do with it yet. Ooh. You can't go on the road yet. It doesn't have plates. Turn it around to the back. And there it is. Alright, there it is loaded. 2 tiers of 8-foot pulpwood. A little too long to spin around here very well. There we go. I weathered it a little bit with in here on the orange on the loader and on the roof of the truck with some black, I think it's Tester's paint that I've thinned really thin, and this is kind of a muddy black. I put some brown and rust in there as well, and so there's the passenger side, and I put a good thick coat of Pledge on the cab, because I think the trucker would be taking care of it, keeping it clean. And there's the back end. I think looking at it now, the critical eye, I think the rear axles are a little bit far apart, but shh, don't tell anybody. I haven't tried to open the hood recently, since I, at least in the last few days, week, something like that. But I'd say the Pledge did a pretty good job of making it nice and glossy. Holy smokes. Anybody notice the missing side light on this side? Up on the front fender. Alright, should I try and open the hood? No, I don't think so. Come on. There we go. Well, there's the engine. The brown cab interior. See if I can show the other side of the engine. So now that the cab's up, we'll be able to get the hood back down. It seems like that's the worst part, is getting it back down. Maybe I should just leave it up. Notice there's quite a gap to it. I couldn't honestly get it to sit down any better than that. But there she is. Get a final side shot of it. I'm going to need a still shot here pretty quick. All right, thank you very much for viewing. I hope you like my videos on this truck, and if you do, please hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, and subscribe. If you have some questions, suggestions, if I missed something, please leave a comment down below. I didn't mention how I made the chains and cables, but basically it's just some craft cable that I found at the craft store, and some chain that I painted up with some grimy silver. I poured some silver paint into the airbrush and added a little bit of black and crud to it to make it look like it had some rust to it. It's still a little bit shiny, but I think it's pretty good. Thanks a lot for viewing, and I hope you have a lot of fun with your modeling. I hope this gives you some ideas, suggestions, and keep on modeling.